everyone. Welcome back to Boxed Up Comics. My name is Hernan, and I've been dying to do this video. I recently got an opportunity to go to Amsterdam, and I was able to check out the comic book scene there. There's really only two, like right in Amsterdam, there's only two comic books. Initially, I thought it was just one called Henk, Henk. But then, as I was looking back at that comic book store called Hank to see if I can go back, I realized, oh, there's another one that comes up under comic books when you search on the map. So I first went to Hank. I had only about an hour, so it was a 10-minute walk from my hotel room. I went there, spent about 20 minutes, and then came right back. And I was able to pick up two very cool things. So first, I'm gonna quickly show you a photo and a video, so that way you can kind of see what it's like in there. Typical comic book store, kind of the commercial local type comic book shop. They did have a lot of stuff. Everything was well organized, as you can see, and I was able to find some really cool items. I would say it was kind of like divided in thirds. So like 1/3 was comics, 1/3 was toys, and 1/3 was like manga, like Japanese comics. And but it was very cool. Again, organized, so things were alphabetized, which I like. But I also am okay with just hunting for comics, nothing organized, and just seeing what I can find. So I like both. But on this one, it was organized, and since I was limited in time, I was able to look through what I wanted to, which is usually Wolverine and X-Men, and sometimes I'll jump to Avenger stuff. But they had on top of the comic books some awesome printed art that had autographs in them. So I had already found one comic book, which I'll show you in a minute, and then I was able to acquire an autographed print that was from there. So it actually has a stamp. So that means the artist went to that store and did a limited sign or a limited signing on his, I guess, comics and prints. To start with, the comic that I found, which is, I've been collecting this for a while, is the hip hop covers from Marvel. This is the Uncanny Inhumans. And actually, I did look it up, but I want to test myself with my hip hop knowledge. And I'm almost positive this is a remake of Aquamini, which is the album by oh my God, I blacked out. Andre 3000 and Big Boy, Outcast. There we go. So yes, this is Uncanny Inhumans #1, which I have the non-variant. So this is the hip hop variant. It's in pristine condition. It's at least a 9.4 or higher, and I got it. I think it was like $5. So I'm pretty sure it's probably worth between $5 and $10, but at least I got it at a decent price. And then as I picked that up and then kept looking around, I couldn't believe that I didn't notice the gigantic prints that were just laying on top. And they had one that I loved right away. And it was an artist that I actually liked, but I didn't know I liked. I didn't know who the artist was, but I had seen his art before. It was a black and white Wolverine, and of course, right after he destroys some Sentinels, so you can see the hand there, the face, and I mean it's just awesome. Autograph right there, and there's the little stamp from Hank, the comic store. And this is 17 out of 25. So what that means is for those who don't know, when it comes to anything, if it says one or two or whatever out of 25, then that means this kind with this paper and this type of color, there's only 25 of them. Now, that doesn't mean they can't do this print in color and do another 25 or 50. They could do 500 of those. But of this exact type, there's only going to be one of 25 of this print. So, which makes it a little more special. But the best part is that it's autographed by the artist. So, yeah, very cool art print. Very happy to acquire this. I think I paid uh, 20 bucks, which is usually what you pay between 10 to $20 at the conventions for a print, and they autograph it for free. So the fact that it was in Amsterdam, it was for the store, it was limited. I'm beyond happy to pay only 20 bucks for it. So that was a big plus. I have an album where I put all my prints. The what is it? I think the normal size is 11 by 17. It's a little smaller than this, but this won't fit. So I'm gonna have to get a frame for that or something. But very cool. Those are the two things I found at that store. And then I went back to the hotel. Enjoy the walk, and you're in Amsterdam, so saw a couple of things that shocked me. Saw some cool stores on the way. Just didn't have time at that moment to stop. And then I went to dinner, did what I had to do that afternoon, and then the following day I had a little bit more time, free time, and I wanted to try to go back to the store, and I noticed there was another one opposite side. So you'll see on the map, they're kind of away from where I was at, and it's called CIA, which stands for Comics Import Amsterdam. I thought it was cool, CIA, like the CIA, but it's not. And unlike the other one, like the other comic shop that was in the middle of everything touristy, this was more kind of in like the suburban area, right? A lot of the shops in the city are at the base part of a building. So sometimes you got to go downstairs, sometimes you got to go upstairs, and it's on the first floor, but it's usually an apartment that got turned into a shop. Well, that's what this was. So I go there with my friend, and I asked him if he wanted to go check out the place, and we are both glad we did. It wasn't your normal, typical comic shop. There's an organization that's probably only known by the owner. By the way, super cool guy, and he was very helpful, very welcoming. But there is no, that I could tell, there is no ABC throughout the comics. But if you go and you're looking for something, he's gonna show you, he's gonna help you out. And what I loved about it, it was that it was a very small place. He allowed me to take video, so he said I could use it for my video here. So as you can see, this first room is kind of like the front, and you just have, and there's, I don't know if you can see them on the video, but there's two cool dogs, and I loved it. And then you have all the comics there. And then you go down this little hallway, which I did not record, but it's just like a typical hallway to go to the back of a house. And then there's another room in the back, which you'll see now. And that one is filled with even more comics. And as I was talking to him, having great conversation, talking about, names of, because I speak Spanish. So he was testing me on the names of some of the Marvel series that come out in other countries and what the names were. So that was kind of a fun conversation. But as we were doing that in the back room, I told him, man, it's kind of amazing how many books you have here. And then he lets me know, well, that's not it. There is a basement, and you could see the stairs that go down, but it was dark. there's a basement that has way more. So I asked him overall, how many books do you have here? And he explained to me that it is well over 2 million books. 2 million books. From my understanding, from our conversation, he has like this record of how many books. I think he's like, what? I think top three, and it definitely in Europe, but maybe in the world. Definitely, um, definitely a large amount of comics at CIA at this shop that I was in, and it was both amazing and overwhelming at the same time. Not overwhelming in a bad way, just overwhelming as in like where do I start? Where do I go? So it was since there wasn't no alphabetical order, it was more of like, hey, where your Wolverine stuff is at, and he'll kind of point you here and here, and after a while, I just you know what? Let me hunt. Let me see what I find. And I was able to find some comics, but I was in Amsterdam. I was in Europe. I wanted some stuff from there because everything else I could get here. So what I was able to find, it was some really cool covers, some keys that are not worth that much because I find out later um, the keys that are big here in Europe or in other countries usually come out later. So they're not considered the first appearance of, if that makes sense. So, but I was able to find some cool X-Men stuff and Wolverine stuff from Amsterdam. Um, and I believe I had one also from Germany. So let me show you. So I'm going to try to pronounce the names right, but um, you'll see the covers and you'll be able to tell right away if you know your keys. If not, I'm gonna let you know. The X-Manen number 92, and that is the first Jim Lee cover in the X-Men series. So it's actually in great condition. It has a few ticks, and overall, it's not a 9.8, not even a 9.2. It's probably like either 7 or 8.0, but still, it's not beat up. And I didn't pay that much. He didn't charge me that much. But they were great keys, and I kind of like stuff like this. That's like, I don't know, hard to find here, I guess, in the way to put it. So that was the first one that I was very excited about. But this one too, also Jim Lee, the X-Men number 108. So the famous, trio cover by Jim Lee, Wolverine, Captain America, and Black Widow. As far as I remember, this is just a key because of the cover. But that's about it that I can remember. So, but I really like it. Limited series Wolverine. I don't know. These are all JP Junior Press strips, which is usually what you'll find over there. Um, so next one is the first, the X-Men in 115, first Jungle Rogue. It's the way she has her outfit. It's the first one of that one. Um, so yes, Savage Land, first Savage Land Rogue. That's what it is. I have like a Jungle Rogue. Next, Wolverine, which I was very excited. Also, Jim Lee, Wolverine number 4, which wait, is that 12? No, it says NR4. So that's number 4. I don't know why at the top it says Marvel Heroes 2, but Wolverine Jim Lee cover. In English, this is a key only because the cover that I can recall. So, and then last but not least, another Wolverine cover, but this one is the X-Men, also a key number 61. So I can't remember what key this was, but I do remember the cover. It's one of my favorites. I was just telling my friend that we went together to this comic shop that he's breaking the fourth wall, but he's tearing it up instead. So technically, because this is the cover that he's cutting through, which makes it like breaking the fourth wall, right? Like Deadpool, he's always breaking the fourth wall. I don't know. I just thought that was funny, but cool. But yeah, and this I don't know if you could tell. Yeah, you should. It's smaller, so it's a little smaller, but it's even smaller than the other ones. So I don't know why, but and they're both from Amsterdam, according to this title. The German ones, I saw the X-Men German ones. It was a different name. So, but yeah, very cool comics. Awesome covers that I love, and I got them in another language, which I think is super cool. Um, so those are going on my PC. Um, so if you are ever in that part of the world, Amsterdam, and you get to go, I would suggest go to both, but you definitely got to check out CIA. That was a different experience. I thought it was very cool. Again, I am still shocked at how many comic books were there, and I wish I had hours and hours to go through that stuff. But I was very limited. I think we were there for like 30 minutes or a little over 30 minutes, and then we had to leave. But I did find some cool stuff, and um, yeah, very cool guy. The owner, he told me he had that shop for 40 years. He's been collecting for 40 years. He also told me and showed me about a Batman comic from Argentina, because I told him I was from Argentina, and it was part of his collection, his PC. But yeah, he pulled it out and showed it to me, and I was like, I'm holding one of the oldest comic books ever, and it was probably worth a lot of money. But he was very kind to show it to me and let me hold it. That was very cool. I should have taken a picture at that moment, but I wasn't thinking. I was super excited being there. Again, I actually want to go back. That's how much I enjoyed the trip there. The ambience, the place was welcoming, and one more thing, there was a very cool door that was not placed anywhere except leaning against the wall. So there's the first door you enter to, which I think it was open, maybe not, I can't remember. But the second door has a little sign that says, please knock to come in. And I knocked and he opened the door, the owner. But right next to you, on that door you knock, there is a gray door just leaning there with a bunch of sketches, like head sketches, like about this size. There was like 8 of them. One of them was a very cool Stanley sketch. But as you can see on the photo, I don't know who the artists all are, but I'm pretty sure, he had artists just, grab a marker and just do a quick sketch. And I thought that was cool. It was just random door, just full of sketches, and very cool. Um, so yeah, I think if you're looking for stuff while you're there, he's gonna have it. He was letting me know people that travel from far just to hang out and go to the shop and talk to him and get the stuff they need. And one of those guys were there. Yeah, he comes often, and he didn't lived very close, but lots of bikes around there in Amsterdam, so he probably rode his bike all the way over there. But very cool place. Check it out. And recommendation: every time you go somewhere, check out the comic shops, especially if it's out of the country. You never know what you're gonna find. And for me, it was one of the many highlights in Amsterdam. It was an awesome trip. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you think the comics are cool. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've gone, let me know your experience. If you've gone to Amsterdam. And again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video, share it too, and see you on the next one.